much. Sheriff, I'll take it.
Lord, we thank you for this beautiful day that you blessed us with. We thank you for the wonderful rain that you've sent us, and the rain you're going to send us, Lord. We thank you for each one here and ask a blessing on them and their families. We ask you to be with our country's leaders, Lord, and have them to make decisions in life that'll please you. We ask you to go with us tonight through the business of the county. Help us to make decisions that please you. Just go with us, lead and guide and direct us. Forgive us where we fail. Amen.
Amen. Just send that over.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all very much. And Sheriff, for that prayer, I hope that rain comes in small, steady increments, not all at once. Please. No. Clerk Moffitt, please call roll.
Justice Van Belzenberg.
Here.
Justice Lee. Here. Justice Hobson.
Here.
Justice Jensen.
Here.
Justice Reed.
Here.
Justice Kerwood. Here. Justice Shipman.
Here.
Justice Dorsey.
Here.
Justice Johnson.
Here.
Motion to accept the minutes.
Motion.
Make a second.
I have a question. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I've got a first and a second. Any additions or corrections to the minutes? Yes.
Correction on the first amendment that we did, or ordinance, I'm sorry, 2025-1. It says the motion to adopt passed unanimously, and Justice Reed and I both voted no on that.
All right.
Does it require a motion to change that?
Yes, ma'am.
The motion that Justice Lee and Justice Reed voted in favor of the amendment, which was the one of the time change. No. The motion failed with you and Reed voting in favor of the amendment. The motion to adopt unanimously was the entire ordinance. Am I wrong about that? I mean, I can be.
And no, that's why I emailed you and asked you about it, and then you told me to bring it up here.
Did I? Yeah, I did.
The entire ordinance did not pass unanimously.
I believe it passed 7-2.
I didn't
Yes.
change that. That is
Just
not a
strike that
problem.
sentence.
All right.
I will fix that.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
So, yes, we have no motion to adopt as amended.
Move to adopt as amended.
Second.
I'm sorry about that.
You need a vote.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Any more additions or corrections to the minutes? All right. All in favor? Accept minutes.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Treasury report and planning commissions are both quarterly, so we'll go to the budget committee. Report?
I would like to say something, if you care.
Go ahead, sir.
It's not particularly about the report that I emailed you, but I'd like to address all of you here tonight. First off, I want to welcome you. Thank you for serving and doing what you do. I want to talk about money just a minute. The Marion County Sheriff's Office is funded solely out of county general. In 2015, sales tax was passed to fund the building of the Marion County Jail and for paying for it. It's soon going to come to fruition. The jail and the sheriff's office is going to be paid for. There's 1/2 cent sales tax that is out there. I would ask that you not let that expire, let's go after that as a revenue for the sheriff's office so that we have another some form of income that is furnished other than out of county general. So there's a 0.5 cent sales tax out there that's gonna sunset and go away here in the next few months. I don't know when it is. And you could help me check in on this, but, it's 10 years is this year. And I know when we passed it, it was 10 years then, 10 or 11. And so I would need the support of you, Quorum Court, in order to put it back toward the county as to vote on it. It would have to be voted before we could ever do it. But I would like it as a sales tax money for the sheriff's office, law enforcement tax, if you will. I mean, I hate the word tax, but it's been ongoing since for the last 10 years. And instead of it dropping off, if we could just move that over to the sheriff's office, we'd have a little bit of income coming. That's all I have to say.
Do you, when does that sunset, what's the next year?
It should sunset either this year or the first part of next. I've not contacted the banks yet to find out when it is, but it's soon. I mean, it should be within the next few months.
Could we get that date? Because we really should move towards a referendum before the sunset.
Oh, I agree. It doesn't need to expire.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we do need to do that.
So who would have that date?
It will probably be Stevens Group out of Little Rock. And if it's not them, it'll be Bank of the Ozarks, because I believe Bank of the Ozarks, Bank OZK is the one that handled the bonds whenever they were sold. So I need to reach out and talk to them.
Does that retire that debt or just
It will retire the debt. But anyway, just keep that in mind that, right now, all the money that I get for the sheriff's office is through county general, and through county general, it comes from the landowners of the county, the landowners and the people that are paying land taxes and home taxes. There's a lot, we deal with a lot of people that come through that don't own land. So it would be beneficial and a more fair tax if it was a sales tax, like it's going on now. I mean, it would just, that 0.5 cent would just go on from now on to support the Marion County Sheriff's Office instead of dropping off.
Well,
Sure.
be sure that really the next Quorum Court, be sure to have all that information. We should probably do this time.
Brother, I've just started looking into it and found out that it's fixing to expire.
We put it to the next Quorum Court.
We'll try to get that.
Chair,
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
I believe that's on the sales tax, that 1/4% is. It's not on the land or the personal property. It's on from the sales tax. So it's from sales of all of Marion.
Did I not make that clear?
No, that's what he said.
That's what you said.
Did you say that?
I did say that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, that's what I meant. That's all right.
to get it on the referendum, it requires a petition with 100 voting, registered voters.
No, it just requires a vote of you to allow us to go forward with it. The 9 of you would have to approve us pushing it forward as a law enforcement tax.
We'll need Mr. Russo's sounding on that to make sure that we do it correctly. If we get that by next quarter.
Yeah. Is he not? He's not.
Thank you much.
Yes, Sue.
I recently learned of some possible federal regulations changing for housing 309 prisoners as well. Are you aware of that pending legislation?
Yes, they are trying to reduce the amount of money that you can get for 309s from $18 a day down to 10.
And I apologize for calling you by your first name. I'm sorry. I should have said Trent. Well, still, we're in a professional meeting, so I apologize for that. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Marie Thompson. I'm with the Marion County Community Center Project. And this is a bit precipitous, but because I did not come prepared tonight to do any kind of a presentation, we are hoping to come talk to you folks in April. And if not, formally there, then individually in between. And I fear for the sheriff that we are looking for the same half-cent sales tax for the community building. We've been working on the project for 15 years. And I can answer the questions about the money because we've been in touch with Kevin Fogg Scott Stevens, Public Finance out of Fayetteville. The jail referendum or the jail ordinance retires, we think, the first half of 2026, and it could be a little earlier than that. They have sent sales bond right now that is paying for the jail.
Yes.
Will pay it off, generates about $1.2 million a year. So the community center project, and again, I apologize sincerely because he did not come tonight prepared to do any kind of presentation. But we have the numbers, we have the budget, we have everything. We have the architects will be making a formal presentation to you folks. We will go over the numbers with you. So we
So
are
you're after that half cent too.
we're in direct competition.
We're gonna butt heads.
Yes.
Get ready.
Yes. But I think you'll find that if we present the information to you, the community center project is quite worthy. And that we can fit that, the building that we have proposed into the $1.2 million for construction only. Once we are proposing also to extend the half-stand with the people's permission, that is, to construct the community building. And we have a lot of good things happening with that building. And so once the community center is built, then it will indeed sunset. It will sunset. It will not go on indefinitely. So we need to look at that very carefully. I'm certainly not against the sheriff, and I'm not against having a good jail that's well funded. But I hope you all will give it very careful consideration. So we'll see you in a month or two with more information about what we're doing. We have purchased the property and paid it off in South Yellville. So we are poised to bring this project forward to you. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, question for the sheriff.
Yes, sir.
It's kind of different realm. We're seeing a lot of movement by the ICE and against illegal criminals. Okay, and I know that's not really in this area, and it's a low priority, but if that did happen to come here, you're the chief law enforcement officer in Marion County, but you would cooperate with them for any kind of illegal here, which I doubt there are, that probably I'd never do.
If they were felons in here that we need to get a hold of, I'd be right there with you.
Just as long as you know you're the chief law enforcement officer. Okay? And
Yeah.
federal government answers to you.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But I do know that they have been going places and not notifying the
Yeah,
locals.
no way, Jose, is that set well to me.
All right, on to the budget committee. They had their first meeting, and I will let the chair of the budget committee speak on that.
I don't even really know where to start. It was a learning experience, to say the least. Getting everybody together, it was a good positive meeting. Looks like we're gonna have a good group here. You're gonna have to leave me alone from that one.
No, it would be the ordinance that we have today, but no, I think it was a good learning experience, and I think we're set up good to go forward. I don't believe that the personnel, law enforcement, and solid waste and procedures management have met yet, so do we have any more unfinished business? All right, Clerk Moffitt.
I would entertain motion to read by title only.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Appropriation ordinance 2025-3 is appropriations to adjust the 2024 budget for the Fund 3443 county buildings improvement fund for the transfer of funds for payment of cleanup and cleaning of the courthouse basement damaged by the flood on July 17, 2024, in the amount of $6,018.97.
Motion.
Second.
I'm sorry, who's second? Thank you.
What was that number?
3.
3.
Is there any discussion? Justice Van Valkenburg,
Yes.
Justice Lee,
Yes.
Justice Hobson,
Yes.
Justice Jensen,
Yes.
Justice Reed,
Yes.
Justice Kerwood,
Yes.
Justice Shipman,
Yes.
Justice Dorsey,
Yes.
Justice Johnson.
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 25-4. This is a direct reimbursement for this, from the state in the amount of $1,125.91 to be added to their postage line item for juries and witnesses.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Justice Lee,
Yes.
Justice Hobson,
Yes.
Justice Jensen,
Yes.
Justice Reed,
Yes.
Justice Sherwood,
Yes.
Justice Shipman,
Yes.
Justice Dorsey,
Yes.
Justice Johnson,
Yes.
Justice Van Valkenburg.
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 25-5, this amendment will modify the current appropriated budget numbers and computational portion of the ordinance 2461 for two deputies currently employed in the clerk's office. And what I'm trying to do is raise the cap to $16.50 an hour from $15.50 and $15.71. It's in the amount of $4,220.32.
Motion. Second.
Is there a discussion?
Yeah, is this money coming out from general?
No, it comes out of special fund.
Okay. The only thing is that,
Hang on, you're talking faster than I can.
I didn't,
Okay, comes out of the recorder's fund. And what,
the only question I have is that if do that and the other offices don't have that, they have to any kind of pay raise, they would have to do that from the county general, is that correct?
I can't speak for the other offices.
This doesn't come out of county general, this is.
No, it's my special fund,
Okay, but I'm thinking the others are probably come out of county general.
not all of them. I'm not gonna name them off because I'm afraid I'll make a mistake.
Well,
Justice Reed.
Just a point, the recorder's fund is an accrued fund over a number of years. In the out years, the recorder fund may not support that. It may or may not, I don't know that. But if it does not, that would be a county general debit. And I'm still in support of the ordinance, but I just wanted to point that out. And also, I think it's important to note that the 1650 brings those clerks up to about the same compensation as other similar functions.
That is correct, but the recorder's fund generates money every single day.
I didn't look at the projected revenue for that, so I can't say it wouldn't support it, but that's just a concern.
Generally, it brings in over $150,000 a year,
The recorder's fund.
yes. And
Well,
my
that would
salary
support
is
it.
paid out of that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Justice Van Valkenburg.
If I worked for anybody in the county, I'd want to work for you. Because I
I'm
know the last,
retiring in about a
I
year.
mean, you've gone to bat the last 2 or 3 years for your office. But I'm afraid that this would open up a Pandora's box where everybody's going to be in here the next couple meetings looking for raises for their employees. I mean, I'm a big believer that everybody in the county should get more money, including the elected officials, okay? And I personally would like to work on a program with a couple of the JPs to take all class 2 counties, which is like 27, I think something like that.
Yes.
And which is like 38% of the county, and take the positions and line them up against other counties with the same revenue source and see how everybody lines up. Because I wish we could raise everybody's But we kind of just did that. And when I look at like the numbers, I know we talked on the phone, like the 3% raise, like that one of your employees got was like 48 cents an hour. I mean, what's that, about half an egg? You know, so I mean, you know, things need to, hopefully things we can change. But I'm just afraid if we do it right now, you know, we're gonna have this discussion every meeting about raising everybody. And we just did it.
In the last couple of years, most of the other offices got raised to $16.50, if not more. I got turned down several times last year, asked to bring it forward, you know, the year before, 9 months to get what I got. I got $16.50 for my county general deputy, but not for my recorder's deputy. So that's what, I'm just trying to get this up to date and up to par with the rest of my office. And I was asked to bring it back to the budget meeting, or not to the budget meeting, yes, to the budget meeting at budget time. And they said no, they wouldn't listen to me, and I was turned down even though I was broke, and I waited several months to bring that forward to them. Now, I'm just trying to make this even in my office, so that when I do retire, things are the same everywhere. They all do the same job. I gave you my job description. They all do the same things. They're all trained to do all of that, and I think they all deserve to have that cap. That doesn't mean I'm gonna give it all to them at the same time. It's just the cap that I'm allowed to work with as the time goes by.
I don't know if we as a county have ever looked at, you know, the wages, like for this, you know, the schooling that's required, the years of service, the difficulty or the danger of the job. But I mean, I think all that should go into some type of formula, you know, to give everybody a boost here. That's just my personal opinion.
Many years ago, we did try that, many years ago, over 20. We did try that, and what happened to the people in, like, my office and treasurer's office, we were all just thrown into clerical. And we made probably lowest on the totem pole. Before that, before I started working here, which was in 2001, they had a longevity thing. And for however many years, you got so much money. But you maxed out at 12 years. And some of these people, some of the people that worked there then, they had been here for 25, 28 years, and they maxed out at 12. So I'm just telling you, sometimes that doesn't always work, but I mean, it can be readdressed.
I just feel like being new, that I personally would like to look at all those numbers, you know, rather than at a second meeting, you know, to evaluate or reevaluate, and, you know, I don't know, just my personal opinion.
Justice Hobson, did you have something to say?
I'm just trying to figure this out. So there's not a county, every department pays different starting wages, middle level. Is that what we're saying?
I'm sorry,
Every department pays a different starting wage for whatever job. Is that
depends
what
on what the budget committee has passed for us to pay out of the numbers and top.
somebody, well, my question is, if a deputy clerk, your deputy clerk comes to work making what, start out the gate?
If they start out, well, right now, my caps are 17 or 1550 and 1571.
No, I mean, like, if I supply the day for your, in your office, I would make 1571.
Probably depending on your qualifications. I do, I mean, I do consider that, you know, I hire someone, but that's my cap right now, and I'm just trying to raise it up to 1650 out of the recorder's fund to match up what's being paid out, well, is not being paid out of my county general fund. My deputy being paid out of county general is not making 1650.
You know, so confused on it, but it's not a county standard starting rate of pay.
minimum wage.
I mean,
Every 15 hours.
I get that, but if I go to work at the road and bridge.
I have classifications of jobs, you know, job band of starting pay and top increases.
And the sanitation department makes
Yes,
X, sheriff's office makes X.
you'd have to ask.
No, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
but they're
No, but
not,
in my departments, everything has a start and a top all the way through with bands. Yes.
so if I started in the courthouse, I'd make, cap out at 15. If I started in the sheriff's office, I cap out at
18.
18.
Justice Reed.
It's an overstatement to say the county needs a personnel classification system so that we do compensation consistently across the county. Secondly, to mitigate the concern about other elected officials coming back with additional requests, I would point out that this raise is for deputy clerks. And if other elected officials want to use this as a basis for increasing their employees' wages, it has to be a deputy clerk. This would not affect a deputy's salary or.
No, this is my
I
office.
understand that the argument for increases in other areas has to be for, if you're going to use this ordinance as a basis for that argument, it has to be a deputy clerk that you're arguing to increase. One other, Mr. Russo is here. I wonder if we could revisit the referendum topic.
Let's get through our ordinances.
Yeah.
When we get to the end, we can come back to
Okay,
that. Yeah.
thank you. I have no other comments.
Justice Lee.
I would like to see by department, a breakdown.
It's in your budget. Under the last few pages of your budget is the numbers in comp. It shows what the max is that they can be paid.
So if, then I'm saying I would like, okay, that's great. I would also like what they started, what they got hired as, how many years' experience they have, what they're currently making now. I don't know if that's possible. I'm probably asking a lot, like.
Well, we have a wonderful program at FI,
Okay.
and we will see what we can do with that.
No, like if we can do it by department, I think it would be.
Not at this time, I guess. I'm not sure about this time. It'll be a little bit, but no, I believe that we can make that happen.
It's in numbers
Just so we
and
can
columns.
see like what,
For the position of deputy clerk, this is the lowest rate for the county. Just
Proving my
to
point,
address your concerns,
because
this is the lowest rate for the county for the position of deputy clerk. And there is a numbers and comp in the budget that you can compare all the positions to.
it doesn't tell me what they started at and how many years' experience they have.
No, that's not there.
That just tells me what they're making currently.
That would be a good question for personnel committee.
Gotta get from the comptroller, I guess. And she's,
I still got a lot of questions that we not gonna get answered.
I'm sorry, Justice, I didn't see your hand.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I just still have a lot of questions. I don't have a problem with pay raise. I just want to see this thing. We probably get the other there if we're not prepared. And that's the only thing, just, I feel kind of like I came here, feel prepared in a way. Like I didn't really study things as close as I should have. If I didn't, I apologize. But I just got a lot of some questions there. I don't really have a problem with it. I just don't make sure that we don't jump in the other that comes out of county general. And then we gotta find out money from county general for the departments.
I will say that has been an argument for at least 24 years.
Okay, well, it needs to stop, and I agree with you, but I still have, I've got to get some things answered myself before I can move on. I don't want to get back into a corner and have a, no unintended, going way more.
Is there any further discussion? And thank you very much for letting me address this in court. Justice Hobson,
No.
Justice Jensen,
No.
Justice Reed,
Yes.
Justice Kerwin,
No.
Justice Shipman,
Yes.
Justice Dorsey,
Yes.
Justice Dean Johnson, whatever your name is.
Couple more Quorum Courts, you'll have it down pat.
Justice Van Valkenburg,
No.
Justice Lee.
No.
Thank you. Appropriation ordinance 2025-6. This court affirms that the use of the Marion County Clerk's Office for the completion of the post-processing and importing of 170 land record books scanned in 2023. This will include scanning and processing and importing 14 more books, indexing and importing all records into the Fiddler system. This project will complete the project started with the grant received in 2024 and create a 40-year search in our land record system in the amount of $75,661.83 to be taken from the Local Assistance and Travel Consistency Fund.
Motion for the purpose of discussion.
Second. Thank you.
Justice Regan.
The travel fund right now is sitting at $581,000. Significant amount of money.
Something like that.
Yeah. However, there's probably going to be competition for that money, in addition to this, although I see this as a very important, county service. I would recommend that we wait till midterm or mid-year so that we can consider all potential debits against that fund and prioritize at that point. Unless that causes a
Well, I
concern.
don't know when the quote is still going to be. This is the quote that I got from my company.
Oh, so it could go up.
So, yeah, and I don't want to risk that. And plus the fact that this fund has already been used on with other offices. And this is a one-time thing.
We got a grant at one
We
point.
did last year.
And how much was that?
I applied for the grant again this year and we did not get it.
Okay.
That's the first grant I haven't received. But there are a lot of other counties that are trying to do the same thing. And this is the company that did my first batch of the project. And that's why I want them to continue on with what they're doing.
Help me understand the benefit to the county.
Well, land records and indexes for land records, which include mortgages, land records, easements, etc., will be placed on the public computer. There will be a 40-year search available at your fingertips rather than having to go back and dig through the books. And it will be, I mean, people that do genealogy and land searches, we have several, several researchers that come in on a regular basis that look for this stuff, and I'm just trying to make it more accessible. And I do not want to end this project where it stands right now. I want to finish it while I'm
What's the percentage of completion now?
I had 14 more books and the indexing, which we have not started yet.
So you're halfway through.
Well, we already scanned in 170 books.
Oh, wow.
So we need 14 more books. The indexes have to be scanned in, and then they're going to back indexes. Basically, so they will be on my server for the public to use as they see fit.
Just one additional comment.
Oh, go ahead, yes.
I would point out to the court that this type of digitization is important because there's a potential in 2 years we're going to lose a tremendous amount of corporate knowledge in this regard when if indeed our clerk retires.
She is going to retire.
I'm trying to be delicate. When she leaves, we lose a lot of connection with those books. If we don't get them digitized at some point between now and then, That will be a serious research project to find a particular land. Just a note.
Justice Jensen.
How much money did you receive on the grant in 23?
27,000, something like that.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly.
Have you applied for the grant for 25 for it yet?
For 25, no, that grant doesn't come through until October. That will leave me 11, 13 months. And like I said, this quote could go up dramatically for that amount of money.
Could we, I mean, I'm not against doing it, I just feel like we need to get the other departments in the county to come together and get their concerns as well before we just throw out money. And
My experience.
this one has a grant available for it, correct?
Well, but I didn't get it in 2024.
But it's the first one you have not got. So your odds are pretty good.
Well, but they lowered it. I was getting, at one time, I was getting $30,000 to $40,000 to buy new scanners, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But then they took it and they took whatever was available for the grant and they split it. And so any county that applied for it got like $27,000. I still had to pay like $2,000, $3,000 out of my recorder's fund to complete that part of the project. And I mean, I can't guarantee I'm gonna get that grant. And I'd really like to finish this project before I retire.
I'm not against doing it. I just feel like since there is a grant available for it, we should apply for it again. See if we get it, and if we
Well,
do
if
not
I
get
can
it,
apply for it again and I'll continue forward from the 40-year search going on up,
will we know in 25 if you receive the grant or not?
not until October.
Okay,
And
so
I didn't find out if I got it or not this time until January.
is it possible to apply for the grant, see if we get it? Because some departments in the county don't get grants. And if we have a grant available for more or less free money, why, instead of spending our money, why don't we wait until the grant comes through to see if they give us the money for it? And if they don't, reconsider.
Because you're running out of time. This is gonna take some time.
But if we know we don't get the grant,
But I won't know until October of this year.
right, but I mean, as long as you get your order in before the end of the year, when it's still not.
But again, the price could go up dramatically.
There's two before you read. Justice Johnson.
If we do this, what's the time factor that it'll take to get this whole finished?
The time factor, probably gonna be 3-4 months, maybe 5.
How about we say 6, just to be
Okay,
safe.
we'll just say 6.
But
But
that- at least
they will come in and they work 24/7. They come in, they only gotta do 14 votes. They get 170 votes in less than 24 hours. They just stay here and they do it, okay? So the scanning is not the problem. Well, not the time consuming part. The time consuming part of it is the indexing. And they do the indexing for us. We don't have access to that information. I mean, we have access to the information, but we don't have access to the program in order to do it because this is what they do.
Justice Van Beltenberg.
Is it possible to put this off for a couple of months and still get it started this, mid-year, where we could say to all the department heads, because I know some of the department heads that I've talked to, there's some big ticket items possibly coming down the, tunnel here, that we could see what portion or maybe all of it could be had, still in your timeframe. If we could get, I know that there's some big ticket items coming that maybe they could all be taken care of.
There's already been some very big ticket items taken out of this fund. And they've been approved. Mine is pretty minor compared to some of those other items,
Like last year or two.
yes.
Justice Dorsey.
Just an observation with my career, what I do for a living. I work in all 50 states, United States. And for a service like this, when I go out and I do a record search, I have to pay for that search. Just an observation, I would think that might be something we would want to take into consideration.
Justice Reed.
Motion to table for reconsideration till March. Excuse me.
Push it back further than that.
I would. Hold on, you made a motion.
Sir,
What I would say is,
we don't have a second yet, sir.
correct, I'm not discussing the motion. I'm saying that healthy discussion, I appreciate that. All discussion, both points of view, very good. With that said, the justice have spoke with these, someone on this side that they would like to table. I would like for you to make a motion to table indefinitely. And so that way we can get to a budget committee and see like in May or June and really essentially if we want to do that and instead of just pushing off 1 month, if that's what you choose to do, I would like for the motion, I'd like to entertain a motion to table indefinitely. And then we'll bring it back up when we feel the need. I'm not saying no, just saying not right now.
Point of concern indefinitely means it could be brought back up at any time.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'll amend the motion to table indefinitely
I'll second it.
with the encouragement that the clerk would bring that up in March.
You have no problem with that whatsoever. Motion to approve, the motion to, I'm sorry. All in favor of the motion to table indefinitely? All opposed? Thank you. May we go back to that subject for just one moment, please,
On,
on this ordinance?
not,
Okay, ordinance 2025-7. Whereas the offices of the Marion County Collector, Circuit Clerk, Assessor, and Treasurer, in order to be in compliance with the legislative audit, these offices were urged to purchase laptops in case of a disaster, which may cause these offices to work in neighboring counties. The above mentioned offices did not budget for this expense in 2025, and therefore this will cause a shortfall in the funds for running and maintaining these offices. Marion County Collector is 1962.34. Marion County Clerk, out of County General, is 981.17. Marion County Clerk out of Recorder's Funds, 981.17. Marion County Assessor out of 3004, 1962.34. Marion County Treasurer, 1000. County General, 1962.34.
Motion for discussion.
If memory serves me correct, this was already.
Justice Reed.
Yes.
Yes, we've all paid for it.
I'm sorry, I didn't see your hand, sir. Justice Reed, go ahead. Yes, sir.
This is for emergency contingencies,
That is correct.
and the process would be if the courthouse closed, employees would have a laptop to take over to Baxter County at an office and work. How would they do that? I guess the question is, how much of our records that those employees would be working on are in the cloud so that they could actually get to them?
I can only speak for my office.
Okay,
My office could maintain the court files.
Okay.
And we could No, that's about it.
Keep Marion County moving forward during the disaster.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's the main part.
Disaster.
I'm concerned that we can access, we gotta keep moving forward.
Well, I could see that important for certain functions, but not all. Emergency, Office of Emergency Management would need such as that, but I don't see that here.
No, that will be coming in my ordinance.
Okay.
Mine's gonna be a little bit more, financially hit on us with this, I have more employees.
Unless there's a significant amount of the county function that could be done in another county, I'm concerned about this expense.
We've already paid for it. And it-
Pay for it.
It's paid, we paid for these laptops. We paid for these laptops because it has been urged by legislative audit that we have this in effect to move forward in case of an emergency.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Justice Reed, if I may.
Yes.
My office has been fully digitized since January 1 of 2022. And because I'm a state employee and we have files primarily in Marion County, but I work in others. So like tomorrow's court here, but I'm going to be cleaning people out of Newton County. In the past, when there's been inclement weather, that type of thing, my employees have laptops and we're fully operational because all of our files are backed up on the local server and the cloud. And we work from anywhere, anytime, anyhow. So like when if a deputy calls me over the weekend, it says, I need to arrest somebody, I need a warrant, they send it to me, I digitally process it, send it to the judge, get it signed, digitally send it back to the jail. And we do that nonstop. And part of the reason is ours is an essential function that has to operate that way. And that's why we went that way. And we operate that way all the time.
I can,
Justice Johnson?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but remember when the tornado came through, if it was a half a mile south of the trajectory, it would have pulled through Summit, Yeovil, I believe.
Yes.
And,
No, I back this ordinance, I think I think we need this, yes.
and there's not, it may never happen again, but that's not the point. The only thing is that if you have these laptops, you're gonna have to have some type of security protocols not only in the office, but security protocol, like if inclement weather's coming up, then the heads of those departments are gonna have to take that laptop with them. And you're gonna have a security protocol, you're gonna have to write that up to figure it out, so that, because if the laptop, if they can just pick it up and walk with it, they need it, so can anybody else. So we're gonna have to be some type of security protocol put in place, both more in the office itself and during the.
I mean, they stay with the employees, and those that have them are, what I'd say, top tier employees, so I'm not worried about them walking off.
Okay.
And Yelcott has set them up for us, so they are able to be used securely to any Wi-Fi that's set up to already. It was done from the beginning. It would have been more expensive to purchase them outright and then have them set up than to just get them from Yelcott already set up.
Well,
I'm sorry,
for
Collector, go ahead.
Okay, my office could function 100% on the laptops. There's no limitation wherever I'm at as long as I have Wi-Fi. I could do whatever it needs. Our laptops were bought and set up to the specifications of the IS Auditor Virginia Cruz. Melissa, she gave us all the information. They are secure laptops. They are meant to be used off-site. And like I said, my office, 100%, not a problem.
Thank you.
of course, this is a reimbursement. The money's already been spent out of the various budgets. But I would still encourage a policy statement from the other offices that address these issues. You say they're secured. I'd like to know
I
how.
will give you the email from, well, actually, probably, if you don't mind, Melissa, you could probably get that information quicker than I can.
Well, I'd rather have a policy statement from the offices that limit the use and define the use.
Why would you want
It
to limit
says
the use?
disaster
So
right in
Why would you
the
want to limit the
ordinance.
use?
Why would we limit it?
Security purposes, we don't know. We're saying that it's secure, but we don't know how.
In day-to-day operations,
Some
That's
operational
No.
policies.
These will not be personal use, but as
Director
says
Penn,
for
go ahead.
emergency,
I'd like to clarify just a little bit. The legislative audit guides our security protocols. So they have in place protocols already written for us to follow as a county. So at their request, we have to follow all of their protocols. One of their recommendations for us was for each office or under an elected official was to have their own laptop so they could continue operations anywhere else. Whether it be from home, from another office, in a neighboring county, it doesn't matter. We have to have an MOU in place with Baxter, with a location that is at least 15 miles from here in case our courthouse is incapacitated. So in order for us to do that, we have signed MOUs in place with Baxter County for some of the respective offices to go to their office and some of us to go to their training center. All of those protocols are already written by the state of Arkansas.
For those that are a part of day-to-day county business and operations, would you explain what an MOU is, please?
Memorandum of Understanding.
Thank
So it's an agreement between the counties that we are able to use their facilities.
Russo.
To follow up on that, so you all know, I participated in the writing and promulgation of the security policy that was done through the Office of Legislative Audit. And as part of that policy, it had to meet the requirements of legislative audit. It's pretty stringent. We have it. If you'd like a copy of it, the judge's office will that. But that came straight from the Office of Legislative Audit. Now that just pertains to the county computers. Mine is different because our network is a different security level, different everything. So we're under a different policy, but even our policy adheres to the Office of Legislative Audit since we're a state agency.
One last point, and I'll stop the labor here. But this ordinance, which is already paid for, allows only one person to continue the function of the office. You only got one laptop.
no, each office had to have 2 laptops.
Okay, so you have 2 people.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. I would like a copy of that, either the MOU or the policy. Thank you.
Motion to vote.
I'm sorry. Second.
Motion to vote.
Okay.
Get it going.
No further discussion. Okay. Justice Jensen,
Yes.
Justice Reed,
Yes.
Justice Kerwood,
Yes.
Justice Shipman.
Yes.
Justice Dorsey,
Yes.
Justice Johnson,
Yes.
Justice Van Valkenburg,
Definitely.
Justice Lee,
Yes.
Justice Hobson.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution 2025-1. Resolution authorizing the county judge of Marion County to apply for a grant on behalf of the Peel Fire Department for the purpose that they have raised $35,000 through community cash or in-kind donations to be applied to the project as a local match. For the purpose of purchasing a Peel Fire District pumper truck.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Your turn, Judge.
One of my favorite subjects, the library board. I personally made a mistake with one of the ones that were appointed and voted on at the last meeting. I overlooked the technicality. I take full responsibility for that. Once I addressed that technicality with the board member, they resigned their position. So I have an open spot. And I met and spoke with Mr. Paul Hudson. He is the gentleman that I'll be appointing for the vote today for the library board. He's been a pillar in this community for many years, decades. He's actually on the planning commission board right now. He's actively involved in multiple organizations with us, and has the mark of want and the desire to move Marion County in the right direction. So Mr. Hudson is here, but I'd like to bring him forward and take a vote for him to be the 5th and final member of the library board. I entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Hudson, welcome aboard, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you for wanting to help. Next, I have the Peel Fire Department. We have some terms that have come to an end, and people are stepping up to move forward. I'll be appointing Jim Harmon, and that will end in December of this year. David Frilson, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, I do apologize. December 31st of this year. Steve McQuitty, December 31st of 27. John Yates will end December 31st of 26. And Ron Barton, December 31st of 2026. Thank you all very much for wanting to help me be a part of the Peel Fire Department. Also, for many months, I had a CDSO position open, that is our County Veteran Service Officer, and that has been filled by Mr. Steven Rodriguez. I think he's going to be a great fit for us. His heart is involved, and always when it comes to that position, it's not just pushing paper, it's the heart. And when you see that, you know that the veterans in this county, above all, will be taken care of. Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. Appreciate it. And I believe we have an announcement from Ms. Vincent.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for allowing Have a Heart Pet Shelter an opportunity to support our activities for 2024. For those of you who are new to the court, Have a Heart Pet Shelter is not receiving any financial aid from the county, but we like to do an annual report so that you'll know the services that are being provided to the community as a result of the work that we do there. It has once been a very exciting year. In March of 2024, our surgical facility was approached by the Bissell Pet Foundation to be part of their Fix the Future program. The surgical facility was built the previous year, and it was built through the funds of a donor, a volunteer of ours who passed away and left a large sum of money to the shelter. And we built an addition, an annex to our building. And in addition to that, we wrote a grant, an ARPA grant, and Quorum Court approved that grant. It was a little over $50,000. And we purchased surgical equipment so that we could do spay and neuter for our community and surrounding communities for discounted rates, so that the community, people who are primarily at that time, we were looking at people who were at the federal poverty level, to be able to help them so that we would not have so many strays or unwanted animals in our county. But Bissell found out about what we had, and they approached us. We did not approach them. And in April of 2024, we signed a memorandum of understanding with them, and we did our first surgery in that program on May 7th of 2024. This program pays the veterinarian and a vet tech a per diem rate. And the shelter, we are allowed to charge each person who registers, either a cat or a dog, whatever size, it doesn't matter, male or female, we can charge them a maximum of $25 per animal. That includes either a spay or neuter, the core vaccines, which includes either a 5-in-1 for a dog or a 3-in-1 for a cat, and the rabies shot. Plus, as of January of this year, we also offer microchipping. So they get all of that for $25. Now, the microchip, we have to charge them $5 to register the chip for them, but then the chip is registered for the animal's life. So that is usually at a vet, it costs about $60 for a microchip. So that's a huge start for us. And we feel that as a result of that, more stray animals are going to be able to be returned to their rightful owners as a result of that. So anyway, we are doing that, but that $25 that we collect
we have to cover the cost of all the anesthesia, all of the surgical supplies, all of the vaccines, and we also pay for a second surgical assistant. And Gloria Cargill's here with me tonight, and Gloria Cargill is the person who is in the prep room and administering anesthesia, getting the animal ready to go onto the table. And the tables, we have 2 tables, they're side by side. And we do 30 to 40 animals every surgical day. Some days we have actually done more than 40. So it's the vets that we're using are highly skilled, high volume surgeons who are accustomed to doing this. This is what they do every day. So we are very pleased. I don't believe we've had a negative outcome since we started. Or have we had any? I know we've not lost an animal. No, I don't think we've had a negative outcome. I mean, we've had a couple things that, small things, but we haven't not lost an animal. But we feel that we're able to do this at the $25 break-even level because of the continued support of our community of donations. And also, we constantly write grants to other organizations to help us support that. Like right now, this month, I think we've written 3 grants, and 2 of them are to help cover the cost of vaccines. So, and as I get a little further along, I'm going to talk to you about some of our other vision for the future to help the community. This year, we facilitated the sterilization of over 2,000 animals. And if you see on the number I passed out to you, the volumes, 1,662 of those were done as part of our program. But we also, when we say we facilitate, we also, all of those puppies that we send out of state, all of those animals are spayed and neutered before they're adopted. So we only send animals to other places that are also going to sterilize. And then we also do the community cat project, and that's all done through grants. And those grants, people who have feral cats, they trap them, they bring them in. They do not have to pay for us to sterilize them. That is all covered by a grant. So if you look at their numbers down there on community cat in 2024, we did 376 feral cats in this county. Yes, and feral cats, as part of the CCP program, all of them have tipped ears. So if you're out and you see a cat running around with a tip off of its ear, we did that cat. And there are a lot of them, because if you see, since 2016, we have done thousands of cats. Okay. And I this year we facilitated over 2,000. And this is our highest year ever. And it does not seem like it's been that long. In 2020, I came here and said, we hit 1,000. And this year we hit 2,000. So we're pretty pleased with that. And we continue to grow steadily. Bissell has extended our participation into 2025. And we have increased our number of surgical days per month. We were doing 4 days a month. Now we're doing 6 days a month. So if we continue at the rate we're going, that means we'll do approximately 240 animals per month. In 12 months, that means we will do well over 2,000 next year. Actually, we have set our goal for next year at 2,500. So, okay. Our veterinarians, like I said, are highly skilled, and we are having no problem attaining 30 to 40 animals a day. We have a waiting list of probably 400 to 500 people that we call that are waiting to get their animals spayed and neutered. Since the spring of 2016, we have taken in 5,125 animals, and that's in 9 years. That's a lot of animals out of this county. Our total intake into the shelter in 2024 is actually down 7%. And I hope that is a reflection of the increase in sterilizations, but I can't guarantee that. However, canine transport is up 14%. We actually, last year, transported 509 animals out of state. This year, we transported 581. 83% of those transports were for 475 puppies under 5 months of age that we shipped out of the state of Arkansas. We also have increased the number of rescues that we send animals to. And previously it was primarily Massachusetts, but now we're sending animals to Colorado, Minnesota. Well, I shouldn't say Massachusetts as adult dogs. Puppies, we also send to Illinois and we send to Missouri. We also have increased some of our transports to Colorado and Minnesota, and recently we've even transported an animal to California. We do adopt out locally as well, but we adopt more cats locally than we do dogs. Our local adoptions are about 25%, and our transfers out of state are about 72%. I'm going to jump ahead to some of the big things for next year. First of all, we want to improve our outside play yards because our dogs exercise, which makes them better behaved. We want to improve communications among our volunteers. And right now we have approximately 45 volunteers at the animal shelter. I don't know what other local not-for-profits have in terms of the number of volunteers, but I would think that we probably have one of the highest volume of volunteers of any of the other local not-for-profits. We're reviewing and updating all of our MTI and procedure sheets. We're going to look at grading and leveling our parking lot because it tends from time to time to end up being a lake. We want to develop end-of-the-day checklists to make sure that we're making every animal is safe and comfortable and everything's been done at the end of the day. We're going to continue our food pantry. We're going to attain 2,500 sterilizations. We're going to continue our status as a no-kill shelter, and that is through the Best Friends National Organization. We continue to write grants, but some of the big things we want to do, and I've already talked to our vets about it, we'd like to write grants and start providing to our community low-cost vaccine clinics. You know how we do the low-cost rabies clinic every year? I would like to see us have a regular, weekly, low-cost clinic for people in the community to be able to utilize for their animals. And also, we would like to be able to provide veterinary services to people who are low income for trauma to their animals, like animals who've been hit by cars and things like that, because people can't afford to usually, they call us and say, what do we do? Our dog was just hit by a car. It probably needs to be euthanized. What do we do? You know, things. So our vets are willing to work with us and to help the community because we do have 17% poverty level in our community, and we really need to help these people. And I want people to be able to continue to have their pets. I'm also going to plant a seed in the minds of all of you people here on the Quorum Court, and I've already broke it to him, and I've already told the judge also. One of my visions is that, and you know, I'm not a local, I've only been here for 13 years, and I was not the person who started the shelter, but I've been a part of the shelter since the very beginning. Animal control is only provided in the cities of Yellville, Summit, Flippin, and Bull Shoals. We were just recently told that Bull Shoals is going to do away with animal control. So the county is not covered by animal control at all. And the problem is that almost daily, we're getting calls from people out in the county saying, I need you to come out and pick up these stray dogs. And I'm like, we're not animal control, and we don't go out and pick up animals. And they're like, well, what do you mean? We pay taxes in Marion County. And I'm like, well, I pay taxes in Marion County too, but we don't have animal control. So I would like to, like I said, put a seed in your brain and talk to your constituents, because I believe the people of Marion County would like to have animal control. I do believe that there is grant money out there that would help. Baxter County does have animal control, and they do have 2 part-time animal control officers who do just what I'm wanting our county to do, that picks up stray animals, deals with bite cases and things, but those report to the sheriff's office.
Also a class 4 county that rolls over more money a year than
Yes, I am well aware of this. However, I do. Yes.
I don't want to increase taxes for anyone.
Well, I'm just saying, it's something that I think that There's a lot of people in this county might be in support of helping so that we can, and if that ever comes to fruition, I will tell you, the shelter, we will work very closely with animal control, the same way we do with the city animal control.
Appreciate
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
For your information, one of our esteemed colleagues up here has been a very important part of the shelter on our yearly fundraiser pie supper. The auctioneer esteemed Mr. Johnson over there, and we do thank him very kindly.
Yes.
You're welcome.
And.
I dropped 2 pounds running those pies out there.
Oh, I forgot,
And the judge, yes.
yeah, the judge and his helper. And his helper.
It's actually a great fundraiser and it's a good time. every
I
year.
also forgot to mention, I know that, I never can say your name right, Chuck. Van Zandt.
That's fine.
Yes, but he came up and saw the shelter. Yeah, he came up and visited the shelter like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks
Very
ago.
impressed.
Yes.
And I would like to invite all of you to come and see the operation. We have an operating room that is state of the art to the point that I've had people say that if next time they need surgery, they want to come to our operating room. So it is a state of the art facility and you should be very proud of what this county has. I do believe we are the largest all volunteer animal shelter in the state of Arkansas.
Yes, sir.
If you've never gone to the fundraiser we do out there that you talked about, really come out. We have fun. I don't know, how do we have like 60 something pies or cakes, I think, for that at least. And we did that in an hour. So I know if you come out there, they'll think we're going to be there for 2-3 hours selling that. And we roll off pretty good, but the whole point of getting that is that we have a lot of fun there. And Judge makes it fun, and Jack McCorder always comes and helps. He's done it for years. And Jason Nesrinko, now he started to take that. And then everyone really chips in. It's just really, we have a good time out there. We really do. I think we raised, I think 17,000.
17,000.
You know, so the community really pulled together. It was a full house. I mean, there was just almost standing room only. But really, if you've never been to one, it is worth coming out and enjoy it. And I have fun with it. I really do.
I entertain a motion to adjourn. You got a second?
Second.
Meeting adjourned. Motion, they both said first and second.
You need to Russo to tell me.
Oh,